Good evening and welcome to One on One. I'm Bonnie Paez, your host. Have you ever wondered what sets the mood during the Christmas season? Well, it's music, isn't it? And tonight, music is our topic. Particularly, we'll talk about orchestra music. And there is no better person to tell us what orchestra music is all about other than the chairman of the Salvador and Pilar Sala Foundation and the moving spirit behind the Cebu Youth Symphony Orchestra, Miss Ingrid Sala Santamaria. When we come back, Ingrid will tell us about her passions, her visions, and how we can all help create the soul of Cebu City. Please stay with us on One on One.
As you travel across the archipelago, let Sky Cable keep you in touch with the rest of the world in these fine establishments. Enjoy Philippines. Enjoy Sky Cable, the biggest show on air.
Welcome back. With me for the full hour is Miss Ingrid Sala Santamaria, and we're going to talk about the orchestra, the soul of Cebu. Ingrid, thank you so much for joining us.
Bunny, thank you for inviting me here. It's my pleasure.
My pleasure too. Tell us, what is an orchestra?
An orchestra is an aggregation of different instruments in different combinations playing together. Actually, it started in the 17th century in court bands. Gradually, instruments were improved and more were added, and by about 1830, the orchestra was complete as we know it today.
What is the purpose of an orchestra?
Basically, it was for royal entertainment, but gradually it filtered down to a bigger audience, and today we are lucky that a lot of people can enjoy orchestral music.
How large is an orchestra? How many people are involved in an orchestra?
About 60 to 100 musicians.
Is that standard all over the world?
More or less, depending on the kind of music to be played. If the repertoire requires a big orchestra, huge sound, then the bigger number is used. For smaller groups, Baroque music, classical orchestras, the smaller number suffices.
Is it divided into different sections or instrument divisions?
Yes, it's divided basically into 4 sections, and of course each section is divided into different instruments.
Great. Can you show us an illustration of an orchestra?
Sure, Bunny. I have here strings, and the string section is made up of the violin, viola, cello, double bass. The next section would be the woodwind section, and we have the flute, the oboe, clarinet, and bassoon. Then we have the brass section. We have trumpet, trombone, French horn, and tuba. Then we have the percussion section, which is composed of many instruments, among them different kinds of drums, bass drum, timpani, side drum. We have xylophone, glockenspiel. Not illustrated here is a marimba, which is similar to this too. And we have others that are triangle, cymbals, and tambourines. And besides these, we have, for instance, wooden blocks, castanets, and anything that you hit together to produce a sound. Those are the basic instruments.
Which section has the most number of instruments?
By actual count, I think it would be the percussion.
How many are there? Would you know exactly?
Oh, there can be as many as 20 kinds of percussion instruments. What I did not mention here, and it could be a very important part, not of the orchestra itself, but of playing with the orchestra, is the piano and the harp. The harp would be a stringed instrument, and the piano is a combination of percussion and string.
Very informative. Is the arrangement of the orchestra universal in the sense that if I go to London to listen to the London Philharmonic Orchestra, or I go to New York, or I come to the Philippines, is the arrangement the same all over the world?
More or less, the last 150 years, the arrangement has been like this. There is a conductor that stands in the middle, and to his left there is a big section of first violins. Beside them are second violins, and somewhere here would be the violas. To the right would be cellos, and at the back would be the basses. Over here, the woodwind section, behind them brass, and still further behind the percussion. More or less, that's a traditional arrangement.
Basically, how important is the conductor to the orchestra?
The conductor is very important in the sense that he has to keep everybody together. He leads them, he gives matter of style, gives matter of bowing and blowing, so that they produce something beautiful in concert.
Does the conductor have to know how to play every instrument in the orchestra?
Not necessarily, but he has to know the workings of each instrument.
What do you mean by that, workings?
He has to know the mechanism of each instrument and how to get the best sounds and technique from each instrument, even though he doesn't play it.
Great. Who do you consider the top 3 conductors who ever lived?
That's really a tough question, Bunny, because for the past 150 years, in every generation, there have been many conductors who have been very significant. But I think all-time favorites would be Toscanini from Italy, von Karajan from Austria, and definitely Bernstein from United States of America.
Okay. Now, in terms of the knowledge about the orchestra, how important is it for our people in Cebu to understand the workings of an orchestra before they can appreciate its music?
One always appreciates something that one knows. So I think it's very important to know what goes behind the scenes in producing an orchestral concert. And to this end, we have been conducting workshops and seminars for our school teachers as well as students in a music education hour before concerts. So this helps the appreciation and in the development of our audiences.
I'm sure. And right now, you just gave us a lecture on what the orchestra is all about. We'll end in this portion, and when we come back, we'll talk to Ingrid about the Salvador and Pilar Sala Foundation Incorporated. Stay with us on One and One.
Mahaba, dengue, kalamidad at sakuna.
Mababawasan, maiiwasan, malasakit lang at pagtutulungan ang kailangan.
May clean-up drive po tayo sa mga kanal at estero. Bugal ng lumok, kitikiti at iba pang peste. Basurang nakakalat, linisin natin ngayon din.
Huwag na po natin hintayin pa ang sakit at sakuna. Kumilos na po tayo hanggat maaga. Makisa sa brigada kontra baha, kontra kitikiti at kontra basura.
Welcome back. I'm with Miss Ingrid Sala Santamaria, and the subject is the orchestra, the soul of Cebu. Ingrid, tell us about the Sala Foundation.
The foundation was founded in 1989 to honor the memory of our parents Salvador and Pilar in the fields of education and culture.
What is its mission?
Its mission is to advocate music and the arts as a vehicle and a prime catalyst that will help to shape and give form to our country's greatness.
Why music and why the arts, Ingrid?
We feel that music and the arts are part and parcel of every fiber of every Filipino, and we thought that the community could be best served within our capacity in this field.
Well, considering the crisis that not only the Philippines is experiencing but the whole Asia, is it timely to promote music and the arts at this time?
Actually, Bunny, there will never be a best time or even a good time for music and the arts. If we don't do it now, then the time will never come for us to do something about music and the arts. And we feel that music and the arts are a necessity.
You're talking about your parents. What were their interests?
Although my father was a businessman, he was very much involved in education. He was dean of business school at UP, besides other educational involvements. And my mother was a pianist, and she established a piano school in our city.
Was that how you started as a pianist?
As a matter of fact, yes.